females in the sport, and I don't see why it should be.
Do you have scraps in the playground though, or
no,
not?
never. It's purely boxing. I'm very competitive, and I love that feeling of winning, and I love that feeling of your hard work paying off. So that's where my drive comes from, and that's why I train as hard as I do.
Absolutely. Now, talk to us about your fighting style and about your opponent on Saturday night.
My fighting style, most people would say I'm a evasive counter boxer. I like to pick my shots well. I'm quite patient. We've been developing and changing my style a little bit in the gym. Obviously, like the pro game's very new to me. 14 years in the amateur system. It's going to take a little bit of time to keep changing, but I feel like we've made some really good progress in the gym. I'm sitting down on my shots more, but looking to be a little bit more active and a little bit more aggressive as well. So hopefully that can show on Saturday night. As for my opponent, she's good. She's a tough come forward fighter, and I think she's gonna come to fight, and she's gonna come to win, and that's when you're gonna see the best me.
Well, that's perfect then. She's a tough come forward fighter, and you're an evasive counterpuncher. Plays into your hands, doesn't it?
Taylor made.
Hey!
I'm all over this bad boy. I love it. Hey, listen, Sky, a privilege as always.
No, I don't.
You don't want to let it go. You're trying to let it go. Listen, if you leave this guy, he's never going to let you leave.
Get rid of me.
He's going to keep you throughout the entire street.
I've got a couple of other things to ask you, and they're kind of technical things about women's and men's boxing. Men don't wear the head guards anymore in amateur boxing. Is it time for them to come off in female amateur boxing?
I think so. Yes, I don't. Or keep them on the men.
Yeah.
I don't think it should
Equality,
be,
parity.
I don't think it should be one does one and one does the other. It's the same sport.
It doesn't seem logical to me to do it.
No.
It feels like they're behind in making the decision.
So there's that in the amateurs, but women are doing 3-minute rounds,
Right,
men
I
are
wanted
doing
to come
3-minute
to that,
rounds. Then we go to the pros, and okay, we're all not wearing headgear now, but you're only doing 2-minute rounds and you're doing 3-minute rounds. I think these are the little things that we need to probably change.
Do you want women's boxing to
Number 2. I'll check 1-3, 1-3. Check on 1-3, number 3. Check 1-3, 1-3, 1-1-1.
Well, Eddie, that's incredible right there. That's just a testament, or that shows you just how big this fight is being awarded a citation by Brooklyn.
Yeah, I've got one for Brentwood as well. No, I haven't really. But no, it's amazing. She deserves it, you know. And like I said, the great thing about this fight is there's a big movement of broadcasters and commercial organisations.
Check 1-2. Hey.
Well, Eddie, that's incredible right there. That's just
1-2. Checking flow mic number 2. Flow mic number 2. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Flow mic number check 2. Hey, check hey. 1-2. Hey. Microphone check. Check 1-2. Yeah, huh? Check 1-2. Hey, hey. Microphone check. Checking tabletop. Check 1-2. Yeah, huh? Check 1-2. Hey, hey. 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see if I can get some black nicotine on.
Check
Flow
1, 2.
mic number 2. Hey, hey.
Check 1, 2.
It's so mischievous. That's the funny thing about it. It's Dave Lorca here, back with the one and only Mr. Gareth A. Davis. We're live and direct in New York City at the Hulu Theatre, right at the theatre at Madison Square Garden for the press conference with Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. It all went down last night, yesterday, at the workouts. Gareth, what can we expect today?
Well, we're expecting the two women, the headliners in this event, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. They're the foremost women in the sport at the moment, the two most decorated women, the number one pound for pound, number two pound for pound. Serrano has that fierce outlook, fierce outlook. Puerto Rican from Brooklyn, she has a fierce outlook whenever she stares down with Katie, but they both crack a smile at the end of it. There's a different atmosphere, a different ambience between the women when they fight. It's purely sport. They utterly respect each other. What we'll see today is them talking about the magic of being in the big hall. We're in the little hall here for the press conference at Madison Square Garden. The magic of the place that's hosted. We were here 3 years ago. Anthony Joshua and Katie Taylor that night, beating the Belgian Delphine Persoon, that hosted Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, the two of their trilogy fights, the first and most famous one in 1971, the fight of the century. In 1999, Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis, of course. You've got Sugar Ray Robinson and Jake LaMotta have fought here. There's a pantheon of greats that have fought in this hallowed stadium over the last 140 years. But history's being made on Saturday night because it's the first time that two women have headlined. And the pre-sales have been incredible for the tickets as well. 20,000 people should make it rock on Saturday night.
And we cannot wait. Not just 20,000 people. We've got a split between Puerto Ricans and Irish. As people know, there is a big Puerto Rican crowd over here in New York and a massive Irish connection here, which will make the atmosphere absolutely electric.
Yeah, and they're two fantastic, very, very deeply imbued fighting nations who really support their athletes. The Puerto Ricans have had so many famous boxers, not least Miguel Cotto, who's fought here many times, very followed, of course, the great fighter who's now retired. It's again with the Irish, they travel for their sports stars. Katie Taylor is a massive star in Ireland, and so you'll get the American Irish coming out. I've seen a lot of Irish have travelled over here from the mainland, and there's even being teased out there that there may even be a rematch if it's a brilliant close fight, and they may take it back to Ireland for Taylor Serrano too, but we need a very, very close, maybe even controversial fight first for that to be even bigger when they go over there.
Absolutely, and listen, I'm going to be honest with you, that's exactly what I'm predicting. I'm predicting a very, very close type, because we've got elite fighters here. This is the best fighting the best. They were talking about it yesterday on the Ariel Helwani face-off. They were talking about the fact that usually when it comes to pound for pound, you don't usually find the pound for pound number one and number two fighting each other, simply because the weight categories, especially in the men, could be anywhere. It could be number one might be a lightweight and number two might be a heavyweight. And so those two cannot fight each other. But this time we've got the pound for pound number one and number two in the division, and not even in the division, pound for pound number one and number two in boxing fighting each other, which I believe is going to create such a spectacle on Saturday night. One, that's going to create fireworks for a part two next year.
I think it might well do. Like you say, these two women, you've got Serrano's hunted up the 7 weight divisions to find the very best opponents. And when you look at her physically, she doesn't look like a much smaller woman than Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor's had a massive amateur pedigree, incredibly successful, multiple-time world amateur champion, and at the time, being in the amateurs was harder than being in the pros. You've also got, stylistically, very much a knockout artist in the Southpaw Serrano. She likes to get inside, walk her opponents down, work behind the right jab, and then let lots of hooks go. Katie Taylor, she's more the pure boxer, so it's a boxer versus a puncher. Very fast hands, very good footwork, much more of an amateur style. So you've got the classic puncher versus boxer fight, but they both have real intensity when they fight. So we're going to get Serrano walking Taylor down, Taylor being evasive, letting flurries go, and Serrano trying to get ahead on Taylor's chest the whole time and let those punches go. I don't think the action will stop for 10 2-minute rounds.
I don't think so either. Well, Gareth, listen, we don't just have a great main event, we also have a great undercard as well. An undercard with loads of 50-50 fights, close-knit fights, and a lot of exciting fighters on the card as well. We've got the first female Australian at Madison Square Garden in Sky Nicholson.
Yeah.
It's about to be her third. Yeah, it's about to be her third professional fight. She's a massive fan favorite coming from the Olympics. Also, massively influenced by the likes of Katie Taylor. What can we expect to see from her as well on Saturday night?
Well, we spoke to her yesterday. Physically, she looks in amazing shape. She wants to go and be at the level where these two women who are headlining are at the moment. She'll want to showcase. She's got all the skills. She's got the whole of Australia behind her. And I think she will end up, yes, making a name for herself in America, but I think she'll come for big fights under Eddie Hearn in the UK, and I think he'll build her name there, and it wouldn't surprise me to see her go and have a big stadium fight in Australia at some point as well. We've got George Kambosos, the Spartan as he is, originally from Sparta, but obviously his family Australian now. He's going to be fighting against Devin Haney, defending the 135 belts at that Marvel Stadium in Melbourne. It's going to be 60,000 people in there.
Unbelievable.
There's an appetite in Australia for boxing to be resurgent. We're very lucky in the UK. We've got a plethora of heavyweights. We've got competition between promoters. We've got a fan base that wants to come out all the time. So I think Sky Nicholson represents that zone in the world where that's going to grow. I mean, you mentioned the undercard fights. There are this place. What's great about New York? The crowds come in and they appreciate good boxing. You hear ripples of applause here that you don't hear in other places. Actual ripples of applause. You get abuse when there isn't a good fight, when there isn't enough action. It's an old school atmosphere at Madison Square Garden where they know their boxing.
Absolutely. Now, Gareth, talk to me. You mentioned slightly about the undercard. We spoke about Sky Nicholson, but also on the undercard, we also have another undisputed women's fight, one that you are very, very intrigued about. Franchon, who's fighting in that. You followed her career from the beginning of her professional time in boxing. Talk to me about this fight, why it's so intriguing and why people should be excited about it.
Well, it's another undisputed fight. Ellen Cederos from Sweden has the IBF and WBA super middleweight titles. HH Diva, Franchon Crew DAZN had the other two titles. It's an undisputed title fight at 12 stone. The women at 12 stone are massive fighters. They're the very biggest women. Apart from your basketball players or, your high jumpers, those kind of athletes. They will put on a tremendous fight. We had Ellen Cederos on the show yesterday. She's incredibly confident. She came from a professional football background, came into boxing very late, but she's found she has an absolutely brilliant skill set. The HH Diva, she's just off the charts. She can sing, she can design clothes, she's an amazing character, she's vivacious, full of life, and wow, she can bang. So she's going to be bringing the heat in that fight, and Cederos is the more pure boxer.
Absolutely. Gareth, we've been speaking about all of this. We've been talking about the undercard, especially. The undercard press conference is actually coming ahead of the main event press conference. I don't know if you guys managed to hear it back home. They've literally called all of the undercard fighters onto the stage. So we'll be starting shortly. Beefy's just right behind us as well, making his way onto the stage there. Gareth, talk to us about his fight and about his opposition there.
Well, Liam Smith, one of the four, as you say, Beefy, one of the four boxing brothers from Liverpool, all professionals, all who fought for world titles, by the way. Incredible, really, when you think about it. The boxing Beatles from Liverpool. He's fighting Jessie Vargas, a fight that has been made. Jessie Vargas, a 2-weight world champion in the lower weights. This is at light middle. But it's a fight that's been talked about for 2 years. Liam Smith looks in fantastic shape. He looks chiseled in the face, ready to go. This will be a really good fight. They're both great technicians. Beefy's a very rugged, aggressive fighter, and I think it's his fight to lose.
Absolutely, and on top of that, we also have Galal Yafai as well, who's also making his way onto the stage right now. Gareth, real quickly, wax lyrical about him, about what we can expect from him on Saturday night as well.
Aggressive flyweight, Olympic gold medalist, of course, from Tokyo last year. He's going to move through the levels very quickly because he's so talented. He's a come-forward, aggressive, counter-punching flyweight. The perfect style for the division. You've got to be interrupted, haven't you?
Did he just walk
right straight through? So we need security here.
We need some bouncers. Now listen, Eddie Hearn looks like he is just about to take his seat as well to kickstart this undercard press conference. Like I said, if you're looking forward to seeing Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, don't go nowhere because the main event press conference is just coming right after this one. But this press conference, I'm expecting some excitement. Like we spoke to yesterday, Liam Smith, he really can't wait to what did he say? What did he said he is going to see what Valdez has got left.
Exactly, he's going to see what Jessie Vargas has been a world champion at light welterweight and welterweight, and he's just going to give him his proper test. He's going to see what he's got left. He better have some left, because Beefy is aggressive, tenacious, obdurate, a very, very come-forward fighter who likes a rugged contest, and that's what he'll be bringing for Vargas.
Oh, we cannot wait for that. And just looking at the stage there, you see Franchon, this is HH Diva out there with the sunglasses on, the hair in absolute flow. Gareth, you know what I mean? Her hair could compete with yours.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't want to be talking about competing with Franchon crew DAZNs. I'm no GAD Diva.
GAD Diva, I love it. We're going to hand you over to the stage.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and what a turnout. A lot of people were asking me, I didn't realise you were letting fans in today. No, just the world media. How exciting is this? Madison Square Garden this Saturday will be sold out by the time Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano enter the ring for not just the biggest female fight of all time, but one of the biggest fights in boxing history. This place is so special, and although we have a very special main event live on DAZN on Saturday night, we wanted to put an undercard together that could stand alone in its own right in this fabulous arena. And with so much great talent up here on this table, we have a little bit of everything for you on this historic night of boxing at the weekend at Madison Square Garden. Of course, we have a fantastic co-main event. Again, an event that was supposed to headline one of our US shows earlier this year. Former world champion Liam Smith will take on former two-division world champion Jessie Vargas in a tremendous fight. The undisputed women's super middleweight championship of the world, Cruz DAZN against Cederos in another thrilling fight. The Olympic gold medalist Galauya Fire, who in his second fight defends his WBC international title against Miguel Cartagena. We've got Cordell Booker against Amo Williams. We've got Reshat Mati. We've got Australia's Sky Nicholson, who is the first Australian female to ever box at this historic venue, Khalil Coe. And so much great talent. Checking I haven't missed anyone down there. No, we're good. Ready for a huge night on Saturday. We're going to hear from everyone now. Reshat, I'm going to start from you, the Albanian Bear. Your own hometown. You've boxed here before, of course. Big step up for you at the weekend and a massive show right on your doorstep.
Yeah, you know, obviously I fought a couple of times in the Hulu Theater, never fought in the actual stadium. You know, this is where the Knicks play, this is where Muhammad Ali fought. You know, a lot of plays, you know, a lot of fights, so I'm looking to put on a great show, you know, and, you know, have all my Albanian fans out there, you know. They brought them online, you'll have 200-300 there guaranteed, so I'm looking to go put on a good show.
A good step up for you at the weekend, of course, and time to start doing that. You've boxed all over the world, of course, on DAZN, but great to be back in New York and ready to start getting into title contentions in 2022.
Absolutely, that's the plan, you know. Bring up the more weights, you know, bring up the belts, you know, I'm ready to go.
Well, another fantastic young American prospect in Khalil Coe. Khalil, welcome, Madison Square Garden. We know your story. I'm sure a few years ago you didn't believe you would be here, but you are. Big step up again for you as one of America's top prospects and a great platform to do it.
Most definitely, you know, this stage is going to be amazing, you know, so close to home. All my family, people I grew up with will be able to come out and support me, and I've been training to just put on a hell of a show.
Look forward to seeing you in action. One fight I cannot wait for on Saturday, and a lot of people in boxing have been talking about Amo Williams against Cordell Booker. Cordell Booker, a long-time blue-chip prospect with the PBC. Amo Williams, one of our most important young talents, tremendous power puncher, tremendous athlete and takes a huge step up at Madison Square Garden this weekend. Cordell, we'll start with you. You've been looking for this opportunity for a long time. Keith Connolly, I know your manager, has been plaguing me for a big fight like this. A lot of people talking about this fight. It's going to be a great one at this historic venue.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. We've been waiting for a fight, so that's why we moved up to 160, because we're ready to fight anybody, make my dreams come true, and that's what's going to happen on Saturday.
You have got a huge amount of experience over Ammo Williams. He's a fantastic prospect, has looked devastating with both hands, but you do have the edge in terms of experience in this fight. Looking to use that against Ammo Williams, and I'm sure you respect this young man's talent.
Yeah, I respect him. I respect everybody who comes into the ring, but it's my time. I put in way too much work. My experience is above his, just like you said, and that's what I'm looking to do.
Ammo, this is a big fight for you, big step up. You've been calling for this for a long, long time. New training camp, new setup. We saw you, great fight last time on the Devin Haney card in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. Now you're at Madison Square Garden. Life's good for Ammo Williams, but this is where it gets real for you at the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. This is my first title shot at 11, going 11-0, and I'm very thankful for Cordell Booker, because it's a lot of fighters who don't put their undefeated record on the line, especially somebody who has more fights and more experience. So for me, getting somebody who's supposed to be better, who's supposed to have been around for a long time and all that, that pulls a different beast out of me. I know he says he's put a lot of work in and stuff like that, but there's no way he's worked how I worked. There's no way he's even come close to the things that I sacrificed for the sport. And on Saturday night, y'all are going to see that.
You see a lot of great prospects take this big step up, and it's so exciting when you've had your learning experiences around the world, and now we can get to see you in a real fight. But what makes you believe you're ready for this step up on Saturday?
What makes me know that I'm ready for this step up on Saturday is it's a lot more that goes into fighting than just the fight. This is my second time in the big stage, in the Garden, in the big room. This is my second time. I fought right before Katie Taylor on Anthony Joshua versus Ruiz.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because that was like you were just thrown into this fight at Madison Square Garden last time. You stopped the guy in the first round, I think, end of the first round, but you also, it was a lively performance. You were very overexcited in that fight, but I guess great grounding for Saturday night.
Exactly. When I go into this next fight and I make my ring walk and I see the cameras and the Megatron and the crowd and this beautiful venue that I'm in, it won't take me out of the moment, not even a slight amount. Cordell doesn't have that experience. I mean, they talk about experience, but I have Quatavius Cash, who was a great fighter, a good fighter. Then I also have Dennis Douglas on my resume. So it's not like I'm coming into this fight with no experience. And I'm gonna show that it's a lot of levels to Ammo Williams that I haven't had to pull out yet. He's a very skilled fighter, and I can fight a different style and show y'all guys another side of Ammo Williams.
Well, 10-0 against 17-0. It's a tremendous fight. 3 female fights on this card on Saturday night. Sky Nicholson, probably the most active female fighter right now in boxing. Obviously the first Australian female to ever fight in this historic venue. Looking forward to your third fight in, 9-10 weeks. It's been a roller coaster, but this is a huge moment for you.
Yeah, I feel very grateful to be here and to be on such a historic event, and I can't wait. I think I heard yesterday it'll be my third fight in 57 days or 59 days or something, so very active, and I'm excited to show what we've been working on in the gym.
I know that you've got lots of photos of Katie Taylor and you growing up, I think is probably as young as, I don't know, the first one that you had, but obviously a big inspiration to you, and as a female fighter, so much in front of you, but great to see such a historic card in a huge venue, and paves the way for female fighters like yourself to realise it's possible to create big moments like this.
Definitely. Katie and Amanda have been trailblazers for women's boxing, and they've paved the way for my generation, and I hope that I can pave the way for the next generation.
And finally, your first fight in San Diego was against an undefeated fighter from San Diego. Great performance there. Your second fight, you weren't overly happy because it was against more of a journeywoman opponent. You want to fight these fighters with winning records, these fighters that are coming to win, and you expect that at a weekend. A good opponent who definitely will be here to try and take this opportunity.
Definitely. I've got a lot of respect for my opponent. I think she's a great fighter, and she's going to come to fight, and she's going to come to win, and I'm excited. I want to be in a real fight, and that's when you're going to see the best me. I've said that from the start.
Well, look forward to seeing you at Madison Square Garden on Saturday with the eyes of Australia also watching. When we talk about great young fighters, we recently signed a young man in Galal Yafai, who I believe is a future star of the sport of boxing. Olympic gold in Tokyo, I think the standout talent from the Tokyo Olympics. And when we sat down with Galal Yafai, it was very clear that I felt, and he felt as well, that there was no reason to have these 6- and 8-round fights. In his first fight, he went and won the WBC international title over 10 rounds at the O2 Arena. Now he comes to defend that title in just his second fight here at Madison Square Garden. Great opportunity for bringing young fighters through on this fantastic global platform with DAZN. His opponent in Miguel Cartagena, very tough fight, going to have big support in the arena as well. And Miguel, I'll start with you. Quite unique fighting a fighter who's just 1-0, but obviously a very good fighter and a big moment for your career at the weekend.
Yeah, very different approach as far as where I'm at in my career right now. But I'm super excited. I've had a really good camp. I'm just ready to get in there and rock and roll. I'm ready to show.
Obviously, he was a great amateur, but
yes,
as a pro, just the one fight. Looking to use your experience in the pros against him, I guess that's something.
I feel like it'll definitely come in handy in later rounds, for sure.
Galal, doesn't get much bigger than this. I know you're as cool as a cucumber, whether you were at the O2 or whether you were winning Olympic gold, but let's just break this down. You're about to have a title fight at Madison Square Garden in your second fight. You've been walking around New York with a pulse rate of about 20 all week, but this is a big moment for you, and as a young man, moments you've dreamed of. Obviously a tremendous fighting family with your brothers Khalid and Gamal as well, but a special moment for you and the family this weekend.
Yeah, definitely fighting at MSG, my second fight. It's a dream come true. And I remember we spoke in Sheffield and you said I could fight on these shows, and you stuck to your word. But I've just got to go out there, winning is the main thing, you know, but I want to look good too. I've got a good opponent, he's come to win, so it makes a good fight for the fans.
What did you learn from that first fight at the O2? You know, you boxed a guy that most people would fight in their 10th, 11th, 12th fight. Very tough. He stayed in there for a while. You didn't lose many rounds. You took a few on the way as well, but great learning fight as well. And you can see the advantage of taking those fights over those easy 6- and 8-rounders.
I think I learned how small the gloves were, coming into the arena with a few people, but that's about it really. Hopefully I can learn a bit more on Saturday. But like I said, I'm here just to win, to look good, and then get back home.
Well, one of the great young prospects in global boxing, Galal Yafai, ready to defend his title as we move towards 2 tremendous fights. And of course, we know this is a big moment for women's boxing, but this fight could stand alone as a main event. 2 great talents, 2 unified champions for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world. Ellen, I'll start with you. I talk about Australia watching. Everyone in Sweden will be watching at the weekend as well. Massive fight, massive stage. You look in tremendous shape, ready to go at the weekend.
Yeah, I'm so ready. Thank you for this opportunity. It's an honor to be here in Madison Square Garden. It's the first time a Swedish boxer is here to get this opportunity. I'm so ready. I've been ready for so long time now.
Let's talk about this fight. You know, previously, before we picked this fight up, it'd fallen through a couple of times, and both coming off tremendous wins, both all-action fighters. Everyone expecting a tremendous fight here, but been a long wait and ready to make it count. You ended up doing it at Madison Square Garden, so it was worth the wait.
Yes, of course, this is the best thing, 100%. So it's been a long wait. We are ready. I'm going to put on a great show on Saturday, for sure.
And just finally, both you and Cruz DAZN, great fighters, heavy-handed as well. You know, you see a lot of the action in women's boxing at the lower weights. 2 fighters that can really punch as well, that like to let their hands go. We expect a great fight here.
Yeah, you can expect a great fight. We're both strong, big girls. So yeah, you're going to feel it in the air.
Thank you. Well, the HH Diva, welcome. The only person I know that trains with her sunglasses on. Do you actually do that? Or is that just for the gram?
No, this is my aesthetic since I stepped on the scene.
Well, you've been on the scene a while. You debuted against Clarissa Shields in the toughest fight she'd ever had. I was there that night.
Really?
Yeah. It was. I believe it was on the Kovalev undercard or the
I
Ward
didn't
undercard.
know that.
I was there. And, you know, I remember thinking this is a tough debut, and now as she becomes the undisputed champion, you sit on the verge of becoming the undisputed champion at Madison Square Garden at the weekend. A moment I'm sure you dreamed of as a young fighter, a young athlete, and you're ready to take this opportunity.
Yes. When I stepped into the ring for that fight against Clarissa Shields, my coach told me one thing before going, and he told me one thing in the corner: you win the fight, you change your life. And I gave my best effort, and I still changed my life. So when I win this fight, it's already written. I'm going to change it for the better, and also the people around me. Ellen is a great fighter. She works very hard, but she's not as hungry as I am.
When you talk about the development of women's boxing and how opportunities present itself, you're a great amateur as well. You know, you had great pedigree. You had to turn pro and fight Clarissa Shields in your debut.
Yes.
I mean, how much has this sport evolved, these opportunities for female fighters evolved now, where you sit ready to challenge for the undisputed world championship at Madison Square Garden, but back then, that was the only opportunity you had. Fight Clarissa Shields or you may never get a chance, and that was in your opening fight.
Yeah, well, back then, when I started, women's boxing wasn't even in the Olympics. So to be on that stage and go pro against her, because 13 girls turned her down. So you could tell how I'm built, my character, my will, the things I want out of life. I stepped up to the plate because I knew that fight would set a standard not only for us but for women's boxing ahead. And as you see, from then on, it's been amazing fights. And leading up to this fight with Katie and Amanda, the best versus the best.
And finally, as I said to Ellen, both of you, big punchers, both of you, great output as well. I remember back from that Clarissa Shields fight, you always hold your feet, ready to engage, expect a great fight. And I know when you fight, you always look for the knockout, and I guess that's the aim. I know you want to win, but we expect fireworks from you two.
I honestly don't look for the knockout.
You should just say, because it sounded better.
Yeah, but listen to this. The difference between me and Ellen, she's a soccer player turned boxer. I've been boxing over half of my life, so I ain't going to lose to no half-time boxer. And I'm definitely going to put on a show April 30th. Period.
Okay. Right.
Sorry, Eddie, sorry.
I liked it. I wanted you to keep going.
Oh, we could pop up. Look, first of all, no.
No. That's good. That's good. The undisputed super middleweight world championship on the line this weekend. Now, a fight that I cannot wait for, a fight that has been years in the making, a fight that was supposed to take place February the 5th as main event in Las Vegas earlier this year. Liam Smith, the former WBO light middleweight champion of the world, against Jessie Vargas, the former two-division world champion. This is a fight that could headline on any US show, any UK show, anywhere around the world, and we were delighted to add it to this historic card. Liam, firstly with you, I know this is a fight you've wanted for a long, long time. I know what this place means to you and the family, and you know this better than anyone. Of course, Callum boxed here as well. Massive fight for you, a fight that you've wanted for a long time. You look in tremendous shape, ready to go.
Yeah, a fight I've wanted for a long time. Since you mentioned you promoted Jessie, I thought, oh yeah, I'll have that fight, and it maybe should have happened. And then Jessie fought Mikey Garcia, which I had no questions about, but that was a long time ago, and this fight should have happened since then, and it hasn't. It's fell through a couple of times, and it fell through February. That's how it's become a little bit personal, a little bit needle now, and we're here now. I said last time when Jessie pulls out, wrap yourself in cotton wool, because I'm not losing this Madison Square Garden date, and now he's here. I'm happy I've seen him here. I'm happy Jessie's found a little bit of needle back, found his voice a little bit also, and we're here now, we're a couple of days away, and I'm massively excited for this.
Yeah, we've heard him say that he believes he's going to knock you out at the weekend as well, and it's good to have that back and forward. But I know there's respect between the two of you, but you're looking to do a job on him at the weekend.
Yeah, I've openly said that. I think Ed, you've beat me enough now. I'll say what I feel, and I do feel I can be the first to stop Jessie, especially at 154. 154 is my division. He could still make 147, and that proves to me I'm the naturally bigger, stronger man in this weight division, and over a 12-round fight I'll fully make that count.
Is that what we expect to see from Liam Smith? Aggression in this fight? We know you like to stand and fight on the inside particularly as well, but a lot of people talking about the styles of this fight and expect a brilliant fight.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I wanted the fight. I knew it'd make for a good fight. I knew Jesse's easy to drag into a fight. He likes a fight himself, and I just think that's why it'll totally make for a good fight once it starts. I know Jesse's got fast hands with him being a smaller, sharper man. But once the fight starts and once it gels, it'll gel into a very, very good fight, and that's where I fully believe I take over.
People talk about this, obviously both of you want another shot at the world title. It's a tough road back for the loser. Do you believe that you end the career of Jessie Vargas at the weekend?
Yeah, I do, definitely, and I feel that, Jesse's going into politics now. He's already got one foot out the door, and I'll give him his other foot. I'll give him his exit.
Jesse, we know that you're, a major politician now, but we know you're also a hungry fighter, a tremendous fighter, a two-division champion. This young man to my left looking to end your career at the weekend. How hungry are you? We know that's a big part of your life now as well, but we know how important the sport of boxing is to you. We've seen you quite vocal for this fight. You believe you're going to knock Liam Smith out this weekend. It's a brilliant fight, and you look ready to go.
I'm definitely ready to go. I just can't wait. The only thing I'm ready for is for that bell to ring Saturday night and for me to let my hands go and just punch this guy down. I'm looking forward to that moment. I'm here to talk about boxing. This is my main career. This is my livelihood. This is what I've done since I was 8 years old. How can anyone question it? I love what I do. I'm great at it. That's why I continue to stay on top in the top 10 in the world. And I will become world champion again. That is my plan, and that is what will happen. And it starts with this Saturday night where I knock out Liam Smith, as I promised before. I'm not here to shy away from anything. I said it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it to his face. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to knock him out. I prepared for it. I have a great team, because they do have a great dream as well. But I have a great team. My father's my coach, Jose Vargas. He knows me very well, to perfection. Knows exactly what we need to correct. He's always been there since I was 8 years old, so he knows how. He's seen my improvements, my stages, and if there's anything that I'm lacking, he definitely reminds me. I have Nonito Donaire, which is a new asset, right? It's instrumental to have somebody that is like-minded, but at the same time is elevated, because he's eight-time world champion for a reason. He's one of the all-time greats, and he will always go down as one of the all-time greats. He has a big fight himself, so we were in camp together, right, for this one. And it wasn't a long layoff. It was 2 years off, but at the same time, I was consistently training. I have had 3 training camps in one. We were supposed to fight in May. You remember that? May of 2021. And that didn't occur. Then again, we negotiated a fight for February 5th. Unfortunately, I tested positive for COVID. That didn't occur. Got postponed for April 30th. That's 3 training camps in one. If there's any ring rust, if there was any ring rust, believe me, that's well brushed off. I'm really looking forward to this fight. I'm looking forward to showing you what I've been working on, showing you the strength that I have at 154, proving to you that I should have made this jump years ago when I first realized it in 2019. I had told Eddie about it, and we had made the decision to move up to 154. I think we did 152 at that time, which was a catch weight. I won by knockout, and I look forward to keeping that knockout winning streak intact in the 154-pound division. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just ready. And I do want to take the time to also, give my respect and some prop to DAZN Matchroom Boxing for expanding and growing the brand so rapidly. From 2017 and on, I was one of the first to sign on, and I saw a lot of potential. I did a thorough research on what they proposed, and I felt that it was the new era. And you have shown this by not only every event that you put on some of the biggest fights in the world, such as Canelo Alvarez and several others. But I definitely respect that, and you're supporting women's boxing, which they deserve all the respect. They give it all they got, and I'm sure Saturday night they're gonna impress the fans, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it, to backing them up, showing that support, and giving the fans a good show and a good performance by me, and of course everyone here. I'm sure they're going to try and do the same.
I was going to say that. You trying to get more votes, Jesse?
I don't care about your vote, but I tell you what, let me knock you out Saturday night and we'll go from there.
Who's the last person you knocked out?
You're going to be the first one, I'll tell you that much.
Jesse, one thing I will say about moving to 54, I know that you've wanted to do that a long time. Liam Smith is a strong 154-pounder. You saw him have a great fight with Canelo Alvarez. You saw him fight Mungiri, lost those fights, but you respect him as a fighter. You expect him to be in front of you, and that's why you're so confident that you'll knock him out the weekend.
I'm confident because of my training camp. I'm confident because of my team. I'm confident because of the type of shape that I'm in. I'm confident because everything that I've done to execute this plan that I have, and I'm planning to do that come Saturday night. I mean, I'm ready. You know, physically, spiritually, mentally. I'm just, you know, I'm overly prepared, and I just can't wait. I'm just anxious to show the fans what I've been working on. It's going to be an exciting night for me, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have fun Saturday.
And Liam, if he tries to knock you out, will lend itself into being you will knock him out.
Jesse, you've never fought at 154. You've moved to 154 and done it the shitbag way and still fought at 152, and you fought Humberto Soto. If you're going to 154, go to 154. Don't say you're going to 154 and then fight at 152. That's a coward way. You haven't fought at 154 and you come to knock me out, you're in a world of trouble. Who's the last person you destroyed? You said you're going to destroy me. You've won 3 fights at your last 8 or 4.
You're going to feel the punch on Saturday night.
I hope so.
Well, your wish will come true.
Well, gentlemen, it is going to be a thrilling fight. Jessie Vargas against Liam Smith. Of course, the undisputed super middleweight world championship, Ellen Cederos against Cruz DAZN. Amo Williams against Cordell Booker, Cartagena against Yafai, Sky Nicholson, Reshat Mati, Khalil Ko, an incredible undercard. And the reason being is, when you go to Madison Square Garden, you have to put on a great show. A historic main event, but one of the best undercards we have ever staged. Watch it all unfold live on DAZN from the Mecca of boxing on Saturday. We're going to split now for head-to-heads, and then we'll be back with the main event press comments shortly. Thank you.
Hey, how are you? How are you?
Well, Gareth. How was that?
Well, it's obviously a bit of heat there. HH Diva tried it against Ellen Cederos in the women's undisputed 12-stone super middleweight fight, but the Swedish lady wasn't having it, was she? She wasn't for turning, but there was definitely a little bit of heat there between Jessie Vargas and Liam Beefy Smith. It's different between the men and the women, maybe. Maybe there's a bit more ego there with the men. Those threats of knockouts, and I don't know. I think that's going to be a really good fight. Jessie Vargas, as Liam says, comes to fight. Smith really fancies it because he's banking on being the bigger man. It doesn't always work in those terms. That's going to be a terrific fight. Those two guys are going to throw down. The women at super middleweight, Cederos and Cruz DAZN are going to be tremendous as well. Galal Yafai is a future star of the sport. I think we are in for a cracker of an event on Saturday night.
We are indeed. We're going to head to the stage real quick for some of these face-offs as well. Got the young Amo Williams up there. He's been around all fight week with his dog, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's right, with the dog. It's interesting, that, isn't it?
It is indeed.
I haven't seen a dog at a fight week very often, but you know, hey, we're in 2022. Aren't they part of? In America, they can carry them anywhere.
Yes, absolutely, on the plane. Yes, absolutely. Maybe it's a signal of the fact that he's going to be bringing the dog on Saturday night.
Oh, I like it very much. Galal Yafai looking in great shape against a very experienced practitioner, Cartagena, even though Mr. Hearn calls him Cartagena. I think that's the Essex pronunciation. It's the Brentwood pronunciation of Miguel Cartagena. Smaller man, much more experienced, but as I said to you the whole way along, the minute we've spoken about Galal Yafai, he is a guy who is moving through the levels really quickly. He really will.
Absolutely exceptional, and he's somebody who the whole of the UK is looking forward to being a star being born in him. Right.
Absolutely.
Here,
look at 4 belts up on the stage there.
Listen,
2 belts for Cederos, 2 belts for the HH Diva Cruz DAZN. She's a very intimidating woman, Cruz DAZN. She can really get into your face. But you know what? Cederos has fought at the highest level. Look, 2 women. She's slightly shorter. I think Cruz DAZN has got a shorter stature, less reach advantage. I do expect Cederos to be getting behind a very popping jab on Saturday night. She's naturally 5'11", and Cruz DAZN in heels there, of course, so she's about 5'7". That's going to be a terrific fight.
That
Here we
is
go.
going to mix up very, very well. Here we go.
So we may get a little bit of animosity.
A little bit of needle in this one. I love this. This is a fight that I'm so looking forward to. It's a fight that's going to set the place alight on Saturday night.
I mean, physically, I think they look very evenly matched, but Beefy's relying on being the bigger guy, and I don't know if that always works against a guy with the skills and the fortitude of someone like Jessie Vargas, who's been there every level. They both have. They're both world champions. So, a little bit of words. They're on.
Come
no
on.
handshake, no nothing. Okay,
go
fair
ahead,
enough. Can't wait for those two to weigh in. It's going to be electric.
It is going to be electric.
Oh, they're back.
It is going to be electric.
Yeah, nice bit of drama there, a little bit of theatre in the Hulu, of course.
A little bit of theatre in the Hulu.
Yeah,
hey,
nice.
Gareth, you're full of the puns today. Now, listen, what a great press conference there for the undercard as well. In just a few moments, we're going to have the main event press conference going down, and we cannot wait for that, Gareth.
Yeah, absolutely. Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, whichever way around you want to say it. Taylor Serrano, she's the main draw. She holds all the lightweight belts, and the Ring Magazine belts does Katie Taylor. Serrano, a 7-weight world champion, 2 brilliant women, number 1 and number 2. Most people are saying pound for pound stars of the women's sports. A massive event, and I look forward to seeing them very shortly on the stage.
Without a shadow of a doubt. So guys, go absolutely nowhere, because in just a few moments we'll be having the main event press conference. Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, we're talking 7-division world champion up against the undisputed. It's all going to be going down. We are excited, and don't worry, we're not going to leave you with nothing. We have so many interviews that we have done throughout the entirety of Fight Week so far. It's only been a couple of days, but we have spoken to so many people about what is happening. So please stay connected, and we're going to show you some of those interviews right now. Don't worry,
we'll be back.
Well, Eddie, that's incredible right there. That's such a testament, or that shows you just how big this fight is, being awarded a citation by Brooklyn.
Yeah, I've got one for Brentwood as well. No, I'm really. But no, it's amazing. She deserves it, and like I said, the great thing about this fight is there's a big movement of broadcasters and commercial organisations saying we should be supporting women's sport. This is here because of its merits and its quality, and that's how you get longevity of something, not because it's a good look. But
no, but we
MSG,
have to support women's
we
boxing
do,
as well.
Gareth. But there's no longevity because someone could turn around at any time and go, "It's not good enough. We're out."
No,
if it's good enough,
it
will stand the test of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on Saturday night, sold out Madison Square Garden. People won't be in there going, "Let's go," because it's nice to support women's boxing. They're going because they're going, it's a great fight.
Hey, you've also got an undisputed women's super middleweight title as well between 2 amazing women. They are amazing women.
Great fight. And we've got Liam Smith against Jessie Vargas, a fight that could headline in the US standalone, in a UK standalone. We've got Galal Yafai, Olympic gold medalist in his second fight for a championship as well. It's an incredible card. Don't miss it.
The one and only Mr. Jake Paul. We've been praising what's happening, Jake, for women's boxing. It's a moment in time, a moment in history. You've got yourself involved in boxing. We love you being here.
Thank you.
You're involved in history here. 4 amazing women in 2 undisputed fights at the hallowed mecca of fight sports in America.
It's crazy to even hear you say it, like this is such a special moment. The energy is building, the buzz is here. I'm ready for this fight, like I'm losing sleep over. I can't wait till that first bell rings. Amanda's looking good, Katie's looking good, so both fighters are ready, confident. It's going to be a war.
Now, you've been as close as anyone could be to Amanda Serrano throughout the last couple of years, and you've seen her confidence grow. You've seen her purses increase as well as a result of the work you've been doing with her. What's that been like for her and her family, and what have you done on that from that perspective that has helped change her life?
Yeah, no, that's really what it is life changing for her. I remember she was like telling me she got a new car, and it was the first time she was able to afford a new car in a while, and that to her and her family meant so much. And just to see that motivated me, and it just motivated me to want to help her even more. And for her now, she's coming into herself because of being able to actually make a really good living off of fighting. And that's just going to motivate her more to become even a better fighter. So I've seen that. I've seen the dedication increase, and it's just awesome to see her life change for her sister and her coaches and all of that. So it's just cool to be a part of it.
It's funny, in the last, and I said this to you when we saw you in London, over the last 6 months, people's views to you being in the sport are changing now. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, for sure.
More and more respect growing for you all the time because you're showing your cojones.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, look, actions speak louder than words. Yeah. And I talk a lot, but I always back it up. And I've said it since day one that all I want to do is bring new eyeballs to the sport, make the sport a better place, make boxing great again.
You're the man who stole the baseball cap from the man who beat the man, remember?
That's what I'm saying. I took it from Floyd Mayweather. And I'm going to continue to make this sport a better place and continue to do my thing in the ring. But I believe I'll have more of an impact on this sport outside of the ring.
Yeah, we don't want you going anywhere, please. You're going to stay with us.
I will stay.
Yeah. And finally, we were in London on Saturday night at Wembley Stadium. We missed you there. It'd be nice if you could have been ringside, but you couldn't. You're busy with us.
Yes.
We had a double Fury win. It was an amazing event. You need to sell out Wembley Stadium, by the way, and come and experience that because it is incredible.
One day that'll happen, and hopefully it's against a British boxer.
You and Tommy?
I mean, sell out Tommy's not a big enough name to be a dance partner to sell out Wembley Stadium, but he's definitely on the list. He's definitely on the list, and to me, it's like if he really wants to sign up for that, he got scared last time, faked the injury, whatever it was, and now he's acting all tough and all confident. But when it came down to brass tacks and actually getting the fight done and stepping into the ring, he wasn't ready, and he wasn't.
You and John Fury might sell out.
I would almost rather.
The women don't. No. I don't think people wait to have the same
Yes, we are back. We are literally just seconds away from the main event press conference. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. The table is absolutely filled. It's all about to happen.
Absolutely. It's an amazing event. It's history in the making. Even the press conference is history in the making. First time women have headlined at Madison Square Garden in 140 years.
Everybody.
It is a brilliant
I hope everybody can take their seats.
And Amanda Serrano. I'm talking
and
over
prepare yourself for the main event press conference this Saturday night. A historic night of boxing. Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano for the undisputed lightweight world championship here at the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, live and exclusive around the world on DAZN. Thank you to all of our partners that have been involved with this event, and our co-promoters Jake Paul and MVP will hear from shortly. But just to put some magnitude into this event, when we came to Madison Square Garden and Joel Fisher and the incredible team here, with the dream of staging this unique, historic legacy event, they couldn't have been more supportive. In fact, we came into this arena and said maybe we should do it in a small arena. They said no, we said no, DAZN said no. We had to try and push the boundaries, as these two great female athletes had done for many, many years. I was nervous, to be honest with you. Jake popped up, I was a bit less nervous. But as we sit here with around 15,000 tickets already sold and heading towards a sellout on Saturday night, with nearly half of those travelling from the UK and Ireland, we are going to have an incredible atmosphere for an incredible moment. But to put this into context, these two incredible female athletes, which Jake will talk about Amanda shortly and the struggle that she's had to get herself into this position. But Katie Taylor is someone that is incredibly inspirational to me, to young females, to males, to everybody around the world, because she's continuously not allowed anything to get in the way of her dreams. In 2002, when she walked into Bray Boxing Club, before she walked in, She had to put a head guard on to pretend she was a boy. Girls boxing was banned in Ireland. And in her early amateur career, she was Kay Taylor. She had the head guard on. She had to pretend that she was a boy fighting other boys to get to this position. Fast forward an incredible amateur career, and she campaigned to the IOC to make sure that women's boxing had a place in the Olympics. She was laughed at, as she has been, for a long portion of her career. She kept on banging the door down, and eventually women's boxing was installed into the Olympics. She went on and won gold. And I think the great thing about this fight and this weekend is that Madison Square Garden won't be full up because everyone feels it's nice to support women's boxing. It will be full up because it's a great fight. And that's what Katie only ever wanted. The ability to perform on stages like this because of her ability. She didn't want people to support women's boxing because it was a nice thing to do. She wanted people to support women's boxing because of their ability. And on Saturday night, you see a great fighter, regardless of male or female, one of the great fighters of our generation, in one of the great fights of our generation. And we talk about what this might do to inspire a next generation of young female athletes. And, you know, with someone with like myself, with two daughters, I look at Katie Taylor in a world of Instagram and TikTok and say, I want you to have a dream like Katie Taylor. When someone tells you no and you believe in something so strongly, don't give up. Chase your dreams, break down the boundaries, overcome the barriers, work hard, and anything is possible. And on Saturday night, it'll be a very proud moment, but not just for young females, for all of us. All of us. This shows us that if you want something bad enough, anything is possible. And on Saturday, it'll be a very emotional time for a lot of people involved to see Katie Taylor walk out the mecca of boxing on the stage that she lives and breathes for. Anyway, that's enough emotion for me, just in case I just sort of get a little lump in the throat. We've got to bring in two very important people who helped make this possible. Firstly, Joel Fisher from Madison Square Garden. Joel, you and your team just, you know, you guys sent a really nice email this week to myself and MVP and everybody just to say what a great journey this has been since we announced this fight. And there seems to be such goodwill in this event. You know what boxing's like, it's a terrible business, but this is bigger than boxing. This is an event where your organisation, the entertainment industry, the sports industry are all supporting this event. And this is I feel, one of the biggest moments for this incredible arena on Saturday.
It's been great, and to work with you guys have been tremendous, and to honestly get to know Amanda and Katie over the last number of months and this last week. Not only are they great boxers and in my opinion the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world, not female pound-for-pound boxers, the best pound-for-pound boxers, they're also great people, and it's just been a tremendous promotion and partnership with all of us. I'd like to make a few remarks and just say that, you know, I want to welcome everybody here to the Garden and to the Hulu Theater. We're just 2 days away from one of the biggest fights in boxing history, for sure the biggest fight ever in women's boxing. And it's fitting that it's taking place here at the Mecca of boxing, the Madison Square Garden. This will mark, as Eddie has said and we know, the first time women will headline a card in Madison Square Garden Arena, a night that is not just long overdue for MSG, but for the sport of boxing. As we just said, it's been an incredible promotion, and I can't thank Katie and Amanda, Nikisa, Jake, Eddie, Sean, Frank, all of your teams, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my team, Sal and Joanne and Larry, for the great job that they've done. The support for this fight has been second to none. I've been at the Garden for many years, as a lot of you know. I've never seen the type of promotion and press and support for an event, and I've worked on thousands of events like I've seen for this fight. All of our divisions here at the Garden have gotten behind this fight. Our chairman's office, first time I went to Jim Dolan and gave him this idea, he was like, we got to do that. We're in. This is history. It's women should have their stage. We are in. So he's been incredibly supportive. Our entertainment division, our government affairs, our network, the Rockettes, the Knicks, the Rangers, they've all stepped up. The social media activity from MSG, from Matchroom, from MVP, from DAZN has just been nonstop and really engaging. I don't know if you've seen the clip that's been running, but there's been celebrity call-outs from Rosie Perez, Billie Jean King, Layla Ali, Christy Martin, Stephanie McMahon, Tracy Morgan, just to name a few. It's just been amazing. There's been billboards in Times Square. This fight is promoted on top of taxi cabs all around the city. Tao, who the Garden owns, has made a special dessert in honor of this historic fight. The iconic Empire State Building is going to be lighting up in honor of the women, half in Irish colors and the other in Puerto Rican red, white and blue. The Brooklyn Borough President was here yesterday and presented Amanda with a citation and said he's going to light up the Brooklyn Borough Hall in her honor. The media coverage has just been so robust. Great and important articles have been written about the women. They've been on the morning show, on the Today Show. They've traveled, the media, all of you guys have traveled from Ireland and Puerto Rico to be here. I hear that we're expecting over 200 media tomorrow for this fight. That's unheard of. I've never seen something like this, and these women, these ladies, deserve it all. They're both champions, as I said, in every aspect of the world, both inside and out of the ring. And win, lose, or draw, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano will forever be etched in the hallowed halls of Madison Square Garden, along the likes of Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Rocky Marciano, Joe Louis, Roberto Duran, and many others. No pressure on you ladies at all, right? I really do want to thank Eddie and his great staff, as I said earlier, Frank, Sean, Anthony, Lewis, Kevin, the rest of the staff, and Jake, Paul, and Nikisa have just been unbelievable. Their staff with the most valuable promotions has been into this the entire way through. They've been great to work with, and we thank them for everything they've done and everything you guys do for boxing overall. Tremendous. And of course, I can't forget DAZN, Joe Markowski, and the great folks from DAZN, who I know will put on a great live stream. As Eddie said, we are expecting a sellout. There are a few tickets left, but just to think of a sellout in the current state of women's boxing is just amazing in the main room. It's going to be an historic night, so I would really suggest fans get the last few remaining tickets. The talking is done. I'm done. The focus is now on Saturday night, and the best of luck to both Amanda and Katie.
Thank you, Joel. Great words, and thank you to your team as well, Larry, Sal, Joe, and everyone. Been incredible to work with you guys on this event. We go over to Joe Markowski from DAZN. Joe, I mean, I think when we made this fight, you were so excited. I think we have to be honest. We never felt it would be this big, and we're here, you guys, expecting a huge viewership at the weekend. A major moment for the platform once again.
Yeah, and I have to give you and Matchroom credit for the investment and the focus you've made us put on women's boxing over the last 4 years since we got into business together here in the States. This fight, I think, transcends boxing. And very few boxing fights do that. The Canelo Alvarez's, the Anthony Joshua's, they transcend boxing. Occasionally, Jake Paul to your left, he transcends boxing for different reasons. But this fight is transcending boxing for a number of reasons. The ingredients in this fight are quite remarkable. And Joel's spoken to them eloquently there. The involvement of the pound-for-pound two best fighters in the world, the hosting at MSG, yourself and the efforts you make, the efforts of MVP. This is reflective of a broader trend in sport. People are starting to realise that women, when they're given the platform, the marketing, the PR polish that their male counterparts get, the eyeballs come, and when the eyeballs come, people are entertained and amazed by what these athletes do. This is long overdue, as Joel said, and we're seeing across our sports globally a real growing interest in women's sport. We've seen it in soccer, we've seen it in tennis, we're now, thank goodness, seeing it in boxing. So, yeah, they deserve this opportunity, and it's a great opportunity for all of us to maximise on.
I've talked this week about the importance of women's boxing delivering, though. I know that a lot of broadcasters feel that they should support women's sport, and of course that's right, but it's very different, isn't it, when a big female fight like this starts delivering in terms of subscribers, huge viewership, because to have sustainability and longevity in a product, we need to see those numbers come through, and we're seeing it this week, we're seeing it translated through ticket sales, we'll see it through viewership and subscription, to a point where you will be asking us, when's the next big female fight? And that's the way to create longevity.
You're right to say the small room's not appropriate for this event. It's the appropriate venue for the press conference. You're right. When you give this kind of event the platform and the marketing, it attracts huge eyeballs. We are not in the business of doing the right thing and using our resources to do the right thing. It's not a PR or a CSR project. This event will grow our business, and we'll want to see more of them, male or female. It doesn't matter. We want to see more fights of this scale. The attendance of the media, the interest of the fans, every metric we look at suggests this is trending to be a huge fight, and we're very proud, frankly, to be broadcasting it globally.
Well, thank you as always for your support this week, and of course next week, huge Canelo Alvarez against Dimitri Bivol fight in Las Vegas. We turn our attention now to talk to the team of Amanda Serrano. A young man to my left who, picked up the mantle as our co-promoter in this event. Not just saying it because I'm about to introduce him, but it's been a pleasure to work with you, Jake. I know a lot of people felt that how would you approach this in your normal jovial way, but you've been incredibly professional. You've come with a great mindset with Nikisa to just work together with us, the Garden, with DAZN, to make this an event that people will remember for a long time now. Now we're getting to the fun part. We can be the cheerleaders at the weekend. And a couple of days away from, I guess, an event that we all hoped would get to these kind of levels, but even fascinated us to see just how big this fight is on Saturday.
This feels like a unification of the heavyweight division. This is massive, and just wearing my promoter hat, I think if this fight happens again or one like it, we're gonna have to get these ladies even more of a payday, because I've never seen this amount of media at any fight. I'm talking, 8 figures. This is what it feels like, and they deserve it. And I'm so excited for this fight, first and foremost, for that first bell to ring. These ladies are going to put on a show and change history here at Madison Square Garden. Honored to be a part of it. I want to thank Christy Martin and Layla Ali for really making this possible and paving the way for Amanda and Katie, and obviously for what Katie has done for the sport is just incredible, and pushing, alongside of you to grow female boxing. I cannot wait, and Amanda Serrano is ready. When I first, met Amanda, 7-division world champion, getting paid $5,000, $10,000 for a fight. To think that we are here a year later is massive, and that's because of the supporters. That's because of the platform that we've built, and that you've built, and that Amanda's built, and that Katie's built to push this narrative forward. And it's the young ladies out there who are supporting these women, and I want to call on the women right now to be a part of Saturday night, to tune in, to watch, to buy the pay-per-view, to support these ladies, because that's what this fight needs. We need to prove that the business side of this can sustain, so that women's boxing can continue to get big paydays, continue to drive forward, and continue to be equal in all aspects of the sport. So if you're, a woman out there watching this, tune in Saturday night to support these ladies. They've worked their whole entire lives to sacrifice and dedicate themselves to this moment. So please, you're doing a good thing by tuning in Saturday night, and thank you so much for letting me be a part of this event.
Jake, I know now your involvement in boxing, you're desperate for Amanda to win on Saturday night. Just a quick word on the fight. You're fully confident that your charge will be victorious and become undisputed lightweight world champion?
More confident than you are.
Really? I don't think so.
I got a bet for you, Eddie.
I'm not having a tattoo.
I'll bet you all the jewelry that I'm wearing right now that Amanda wins the fight.
I was hoping to bet for a lot more than that.
Well, then let's put it on.
I mean, 10 grand's not a lot.
This is 500K.
We'll talk.
500K.
We can have a bet. Me and you can have a bet. I think we got
I
head
just
off
proposed
with
it.
Ariel, right?
Oh, I just proposed it.
Really? I want to see those
500K.
500K?
500K, dripping right now.
Okay. Maybe we can talk about $1 million, but we'll have a chat.
Let's do $1 million.
Okay. We'll talk. I know about your bets. I know. Oh, something's fallen over down there.
I bet Amanda wins for $1 million.
Okay. We'll get that together. We'll get it together. Don't worry.
You're not shaking my hand.
Don't worry. We'll get it together. Actually, we're the underdogs in the fight, apparently, with the bookmakers.
Come on.
We'll talk.
I'll meet the odds makers' odds too.
You don't need to. You're the favourite.
$1 million plus odds.
You're the favourite in the bookies.
Regardless, let's do it. Okay. Let's shake up on it. Let's go.
Anyway, we'll get that papered up because I'm not sure about you.
$1 million bet. Let's go.
Nikisa?
No pressure, Jake.
Nikisa, you're a bit more worried about papering that bet, but on a serious note, you want one as well? Okay, on a serious note, what a great event to be involved with. We're here now, just a couple of days away. Thank you to you and your team for working tirelessly, particularly with Sean Palmer and the like. Couple of days away, big moment for MVP and Amanda Serrano.
Absolutely. We started this journey with you, Eddie, a little bit over 2 years ago when Jake made his debut on DAZN, where he was the co-main on a Thursday night. And to think a little bit over 2 years, Jake is sitting next to you, and we're putting on the biggest women's boxing event in history is an honor, it's a privilege, and it's a trailblazing moment for Amanda, for Katie, but for women's boxing as a whole. I had the privilege of being there when Ronda Rousey made her debut at the UFC, and she allowed for that sport, or her performance allowed for that sport to embrace women's MMA, and I feel that Amanda and Katie have that opportunity here. And I'm very confident that they're going to put on a show that the world is going to be talking about for many, many, many weeks post-event, and it will result in additional opportunities to do things like this for women's boxing.
Thank you for all your support on this fight. Before we go to the fighters, Ross Enemett, a couple of words from you. I thought Jordan was coming up here, but a massive moment for you. You've worked tirelessly behind the scenes with Katie Taylor. Business as usual, I guess, from you guys. You're never a team to be outspoken. You always take care of business and handle it in the right way. And I know I don't want you to say it's just another fight, but I kind of get the feeling that it's a massive fight, but business as usual for Team Katie Taylor this Saturday.
It's business as usual. We've been here before. Katie thrives under the bright lights. We're not going to sit up here and talk about bets. We're coming to fight. It's a real fight, so we can sit up here and joke, but Katie's ready. I've never been more confident in her. Everybody says they had a great camp. We had a phenomenal camp. She hasn't looked better. She's had phenomenal sparring, and she's ready to put on a show on Saturday.
I've seen that in the clips, particularly. When I look at all the work DAZN have done and the work our social media has done, just looks like something different. People talk about the last couple of fights. We know they weren't really fights that she was overly motivated for. I know she trains always to the top of her potential, but the eye of the tiger in this fight, this is the moments that Katie Taylor lives for.
Great athletes step up when it matters, and Katie's a great athlete. She's special, she's unique. She's never ducked a challenge. We have fought everybody. Pursoon twice, Leonardatown, McCaskill. She goes after everybody. So as big as the event is, it is just another fight because we've been here before. Katie's going to go and show the world what she's all about on Saturday.
Great words. Amanda, welcome. You two have been incredible this week and in the whole preparation for the fight. Obviously, the media has been out of control. You've embraced it, you've enjoyed it, you've had a great training camp. And on Saturday night, in front of huge support for yourself as well as Katie, just a moment in time for women's boxing, but obviously a moment in time for your career as well. And I'm sure you're ready to go 2 days out.
Definitely. It's been a long time since, it's finally happened. We're getting up our I'll shine. Thanks to all of you guys. Madison Square Garden couldn't ask for a better place to make history once again. Sitting here, I made history. I won my Golden Gloves here at the Hulu Theater, and I made history on DAZN with you guys, becoming a 7th Division World Champion. And I plan to do the same thing at the Big Garden. It's my first fight there, but I shine under pressure. I'm just excited to go out there. I train hard like I always have in every fight. You know, all my opponents, I never underestimate them. I know Katie Taylor is a true champion. She's undefeated and undisputed for a reason. But one of my goals is to become undisputed champion, and she has that. And I'm going up once again 2 divisions to face the best fighter and one of the best fighters in the world. But I'm ready. And then, yeah, I can't wait to Saturday night to prove that we're deserving of these opportunities, of this spotlight. Just everything all together, you know. It's been an amazing, long journey getting here to fight Katie Taylor. I mean, leading up to this fight, but I think timing is no better than right now. I mean, I just can't wait for Saturday night. I'm so looking forward to Sunday, being undisputed champion.
And just finally, Amanda, I know that, you know, this is groundbreaking. This is opening so many doors for female athletes, and it's so inspiring, but it comes down to the fight on Saturday night. That's what you've done your whole career. That's the only thing that matters now. How desperate are you to be victorious on Saturday night and take all these belts back to Brooklyn and Puerto Rico?
Definitely. I mean, it doesn't matter what we say. I mean, we're probably like the 2 nicest fighters. There's no bad talk between me and Katie Taylor, because the fights are won inside the ring, not outside. We don't need to talk bad about each other. Our accomplishments got us where we're at right now. We're making history together, and I couldn't be happier than to share that ring with Katie Taylor. But yeah, I mean, 13 years as a pro fighter, I've struggled. I've fought my way to this spot right now, and I want to go out there and just secure that victory. And you know, no matter what happens Saturday night, I think the real winners are the fans and women in general in the sport of women's boxing, because it's only going to grow from now on.
Katie, I know that you're always cool as a cucumber, and like Ross, it's just another fight, but has it even surprised you this week in the build-up to this fight and seeing everybody here today? You must be very proud. I know that all you want to do is win, but this is a moment that you have created and Amanda's created as well, but I can't believe the size and magnitude of this event this Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am very, very proud of this event. This event definitely does feel different. Just seeing the amount of media today, looking at the amount of media that we actually had to do all week as well. I'm sick of talking about myself, but it's been an amazing week, and definitely very, very different to how I started boxing as a 9 or 10-year-old, where I actually had to pretend, like I said, to be a boy to actually get fights. Women's boxing wasn't even a sanctioned sport in Ireland. Now here we are many years later, headlining Madison Square Garden, the most iconic venue in boxing, making history as you know, the biggest fight in female boxing history. This is just incredible, and yeah, this is all the sacrifice I've been worked at for sure.
When you go into a fight like this, an event like this, and you look at the sacrifices that you made, I remember when you came to the office and I bought into your dream, but I always used to say to you, one day you'll headline Madison Square Garden. I didn't really believe it, but we got there. And did you believe it? I mean, all those years with you, I remember when you debuted in 6 rounds at Wembley in November 2016, I believe it was. And we put you as main event, and everyone laughed and said, what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
And I always just felt, you just got to watch. Just watch Katie Taylor and you'll be a believer. If you just felt that if you got the platform, if you got the opportunity to showcase your skills, nights like this would happen.
Absolutely, and you're seeing the fact that this is going to be a sellout on Saturday night. There is a great appetite out there for big female fights. This is very, very special because it is the best versus the best. It's champion versus champion, and this is just a great boxing match. This isn't just the best you know, female boxing match in the world right now, but probably the best fight you can see right now, male or female. And on Saturday night we're going to put on an absolute showcase for the sport.
Legacy aside, history aside, just win. That's the aim on Saturday night. It's what you've always done. You believe that when you wake up Sunday, these belts will still be in the hotel, and you'll still be the undisputed lightweight world champion?
Yeah, I mean, I don't train to lose any fights, I train to win, and it's the same for me on Saturday night. I'm stepping in there confident that I'll be coming out victorious. But, you know, the best part about this fight, the best part about my whole legacy is just being able to inspire the next generation, and this fight on Saturday night is going to inspire a lot of young girls, and that to me is just the best part about this.
Well, thank you so much for everybody for coming out. We are going to have questions to the floor quickly before we pose for a head-to-head. There's a microphone coming around. Please don't talk till the microphone is presented to you. Raise your hands if you have a question, please.
Yeah, thank you, Eddie. It seems like a 50-50 fight here. Is there a rematch clause here? Can you maybe let us know? Maybe this could be a 3-fight trilogy going forward. I mean, it seems like a very well-even fight. Can you shed a little light on that, please?
All the focus is on Saturday night. I think whenever there's a good fight, and if the numbers add up, you'll see the rematch. No immediate plans for that, but obviously we've seen this as a huge fight. Might be the biggest fight for them next, might be the biggest fight for them the one after, but just the focus on Saturday night. Raise your hands, please.
Cole Whiston from Boxing World Weekly. Eddie, my first question's for you. Now that we've reached fight week and you're sharing the stage on Saturday night with Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson, how happy are you with how this promotion is going? And it is definitely the most talked about event this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every time I talk about that fight, I give it promotion. But on a serious note, I told ESPN, I told Bob Arum publicly, Jake did as well, it is a massive mistake going on the same night. We were announced, we were on sale, and they still chose to go on the same night. And, you know, you only have to see the media attention here today. And Stevenson against Valdez is a great fight. But it's not Taylor Serrano. It's not selling 18,000 tickets. It's not going to be driving subscriptions and viewership around the world like it will. But it's a great fight. And, you know, I think sometimes there's media outlets here today that aren't supporting this fight for different reasons. But they're few and far between. This fight has all the recognition for, yes, being the biggest female fight of all time, but also a standalone fight in boxing between the undisputed world champion and a 7-division world champion. Katie hit the nail on the head perfectly. One of the best fights in boxing that can be made, regardless of male or female.
But I think it's important to add that DAZN has taken a leadership position here in ensuring that the two fights don't overlap with each other. So as a boxing fan, you're going to subscribe and watch on DAZN, and then if you want to watch the other fight, that's going to come on after the fact, right? So there's no overlap here, and it gives you the opportunity to ensure that you can watch both fights.
Yeah.
Guys over here. This is for Katie and Amanda. We've talked a ton about how important this is just for the sport of women's boxing. Do you feel like the fight itself, what we're expecting for Saturday, is getting lost in it? And what are you expecting from the fight itself on Saturday? Katie first.
What am I expecting from the fight?
Yeah, and is the fight itself getting lost in just the discussion of what else it could mean for the sport as a whole?
What's the question?
What are you expecting from the fight?
Oh, what am I expecting? Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be, I think stylistically the fight is going to be a very, very exciting fight. I think the winner is going to have to show a lot of heart, a lot of grit, a lot of skill, and it's going to be a combination of all those things. And I just think you're going to see great boxing on Saturday night.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see great talent out there. You two of the best going at it. And so you're going to see his heart, glory, lots of punches, and you're going to just enjoy a great night of boxing. It's not just female boxing, but you're going to see skills. You're going to have a great night of boxing.
Yeah. The other Jake Donovan, BoxingScene.com. I have a similar question for both of you. Amanda, when this fight didn't happen 2 years ago, how confident were you that it would eventually come back around and on your terms?
Well, you guys would not let us not have this fight, because every question after my fight or her fight was always, how about Serrano, how about Katie? And, you know, you guys would not let us not have it. But I was pretty confident the fight was going to happen, but not at this magnitude. You know, once Jake Paul put his name on it, it just flew off the roof, which is, I'm truly honored and blessed for that. And Katie, too, you know, we're making our biggest payday. We're at the mecca of boxing, so it's super exciting.
Thank you. And then, Katie, similar for you, I know you were frustrated when it didn't happen 2 years ago. You still had some amazing fights since then, but do you appreciate just like the magnitude of like this fight happening now as opposed to, you know, 2 years ago right after the pandemic?
Yeah, it's definitely bigger now than it ever was before. And a couple of years ago, we were going to fight during the pandemic in Eddie Hearn's backyard, where there was no people were going to be there, an empty arena, an empty backyard. And so here we are in the most iconic venue in boxing. It's going to be an absolute sellout. So I'm very, very grateful right now that fight didn't happen a couple of years ago. But there was a time where I was thinking, gosh, this fight isn't going to happen, and it would have been an awful shame if it didn't happen, because it is the best versus the best, like I said, so I'm very, very grateful. Yeah.
Okay, last question, and then we'll post head to head.
Hans Chemisto, BoxingInsider.com. Eddie, questions for you. If Katie was to pick up the win on Saturday, do you think that she should be considered the greatest female fighter of all time?
I think she should already be considered the greatest female fighter of all time, for many different reasons, actually. You know, because of the legacy that she created in terms of convincing the IOC to install women's boxing into the Olympics, from winning 5 world championships as an amateur, 6 European championships, Olympic gold in London, coming through, becoming world lightweight champion, undisputed lightweight champion, moving up and winning another world championship at 140 pounds. For me, she would always be the greatest female fighter of all time, but that secure that legacy and leave no doubts in people's minds. And I believe she'll be victorious on Saturday night in a brilliant fight, and I believe the legacy will roll on. Right, guys, thank you so much. We're going to break for a head-to-head here. Don't forget the weigh-in here tomorrow at the Hulu Theatre. Going to be a huge crowd in here for the weigh-in, and don't forget to tune in live on DAZN on Saturday night. Jake, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Don't forget about the bet as well.
No problem.
And when Amanda wins, I'm giving your $1 million to her. So just want to put that out there.
Whoa! Wow! What a press conference that was. Obviously, Eddie Hearn shaking hands on $1 million bet. Obviously, nothing's been signed. Nothing's been signed there. We know Eddie's got his way of getting out of there. You don't believe it, do you?
Well, what I like is Jake Paul's bluster. I like the fact that he's saying, when I win that $1 million, it's going to Amanda as well. He's the ultimate showman. It's been brilliant having him part of the promotion. Eddie Hearn is a very, very slick, smooth promoter who has, I think, done a brilliant job with this event, as we saw and heard from Joe Fisher, the head of Madison Square Garden's PR here. They're very happy with the tenor of the event. Look how the 2 women carry themselves. They are always utterly respectful for each other, and you know what, they deliver absolute boxing majesty when those 2 go together in the ring. And look, there's not that egotistical energy coming off against each other. It's a sport, it's a business, and they know they don't need to do any talking other than in the ring on Saturday night. And do you know what I find about both of them? Even though Serrano's coming up 2 weight divisions, there's something about her that she looks physically very similar to Katie Taylor. They look a very, very similar 135 pounds to me.
Without a shadow of a doubt here. Now look at the intense gaze here.
Absolutely. Serrano is very fierce, as I said, in the stare downs. Katie is as well, but watch Katie crack her at some point. She'll crack a smile and it'll all break down. The intensity is there. This is about the fight right now. Maybe not today. They normally have a little smile, but maybe not. Maybe it's building now. Maybe it's building.
It is getting real. It is getting real as the week is getting on. And it's just amazing seeing the two of them together today. We'll see the two of them together tomorrow.
Indeed.
At the weigh-in as well. It'll be interesting to see exactly how they weigh in or what weight they both come in at.
I think they'll both be around 135. It's not going to be difficult for Amanda. I think Amanda might even be under 135. She may well come in at like 133 and a half, 134. She'll be looking for speed and power on Saturday night and getting inside and outside. They're likely to go 10 rounds. So, we are expecting a vicious, aggressive, come forward attacks from Serrano, and Taylor being adept and throwing those flurries of punches. Typical boxer versus puncher in this fight. Knockout artist even, you called Serrano.
Absolutely. Now listen, we cannot wait for it all to go down on Saturday night. We've got loads more content coming for you throughout the entirety of Fight Week as it continues to outpour itself.
It's very busy here, isn't it?
It is very busy.
We're a very busy corridor here, aren't we?
Indeed. Listen guys, make sure you stay tuned to William Hill and to all of the content coming out from myself and Mr. Gareth A. Davis as the week's going on. You want to jump in there and say something, don't you?
I do.
Go on.
It's
Go ahead.
great to be here in a historic moment for boxing. I mean, covered it for 30 years, and having covered women's boxing in the past, it's always been piecemeal. This feels like a moment in time. It's amazing to be here with you, with William Hill, covering this event. It's definitely special. An incredible turnout from the media today. Truly incredible. Like you see for the biggest fights in Las Vegas, they're right to say this is a massive fight. This isn't tokenism. This is a genuine all-time greats fight we're seeing on Saturday night, and it's a privilege to be here.
Oh my goodness. At that, I'm going to leave it at that, Gareth, to be honest with you. I think you've actually taken the words right out of my mouth. Even the words I wasn't even going to speak myself. Guys, make sure you keep it locked. We've got weigh-in coming tomorrow, another live show coming for the weigh-in. The last time those two are going to be looking at themselves or looking at each other in the eye before it all goes down on Saturday night. It's been absolutely epic seeing you guys so far. Josh Denzel was about to jump into the screen there and we blocked him out. We will see you again tomorrow. It's Big D back again with the one and only Big G. We'll see you again next time.